Welcome to This Explainer. We're jumping right into something today that is honestly deeply personal. We're looking at the psychology of disconnection, specifically that really bizarre phenomenon where you can feel completely, utterly alone, even when you're standing smack in the middle of a crowded room. I mean, we've all been there, right? Have you ever been surrounded by people, maybe even your closest friends? Everyone's laughing, having a great time, and yet you just feel completely isolated? It is such a heavy feeling. You can have literally thousands of followers online, a phone buzzing with texts, and people constantly buzzing around you, but you still feel like something fundamental is just missing. So let's dive right into this. Section 1, the illusion of connection and why crowd size definitely doesn't equal connection. Okay, the absolute biggest misconception about loneliness is that it's all about physical isolation. We picture someone sitting all by themselves in a dark, empty room. But the psychological reality is way more complex and a lot more common. Think of loneliness like a gap. It's the gap between the connection you want and the connection you feel you actually have. This distinction is absolutely crucial. It explains exactly why someone reading alone on a quiet Sunday might feel completely at peace, while someone at a packed, loud party might feel totally invisible. It's all about that gap. Now, what's fascinating is how we try to fix it. We usually try to cure our loneliness by just upping our physical presence, right? We force ourselves to go to more events, we surround ourselves with more bodies, but the sheer number of people around you doesn't really matter. The true metric your brain cares about, the thing that actually turns off that internal loneliness alarm, is emotional presence. It's that warm, secure feeling of actually being understood and heard. Which brings us to section 2, hiding your true self, or what I call the mask of I'm fine. Because here's the thing, sometimes we actually sabotage our own connection. We do it by playing the clown, or by instantly defaulting to I'm fine every single time someone asks how we're doing. We put up this acceptable, polished version of ourselves because we don't want to be a burden, or maybe we're just terrified of being judged. But it creates this painfully ironic situation. When you only show people the easy-to-digest version of yourself, they might know you, like they know your job, your coffee order, your funny stories, but they don't actually understand the real you. And this right here perfectly illustrates the vulnerability cycle. It's a complete catch-22. First, you hide your feelings because you're scared of rejection. Second, because you're hiding, people naturally don't pick up on your struggles. Third, you end up feeling completely unseen and misunderstood. And fourth, because you feel misunderstood, you retreat and hide even more. It's like you're trapped behind a glass wall. You're desperately banging on the glass, wanting to be seen, but you're too scared to actually step out. All right, moving on to section 3, the social media trap and why digital connection isn't emotional connection. We cannot talk about loneliness without talking about this massive modern paradox. We are literally more connected digitally today than at any other point in human history. The notifications never stop, but all that digital noise rarely translates to true emotional presence. Just look at the contrast between your real behind-the-scenes life and everyone else's highlight reels. It's so easy to open an app, see everyone traveling and celebrating and think, wow, everyone else has it figured out. But you have to remember, you are comparing your messy, quiet, ordinary Tuesday morning to someone's carefully filtered highlight reel. Doing that will always, always make you feel left behind. Digital connection doesn't always create emotional connection. I really want you to let that statement sink in for a second. You can sit on your couch, doom scroll for 2 hours, look at hundreds of faces, like dozens of posts, and then put your phone down feeling more empty and unseen than before you picked it up. And that leads us to section 4, the safety of isolation, and when being alone just feels easier. Look, if you've been feeling disconnected for a long time, I want to completely validate your urge to just retreat. Trying to reconnect is exhausting. It takes effort, it takes compromise, and it requires a ton of vulnerability. After a while, stepping out of your protective little bubble feels incredibly risky. But remember this, safety and connection are not always the same thing. Isolation feels safe, for sure. When nobody is close to you, nobody can hurt you, right? No rejection, no awkwardness. But it's a double-edged sword. The exact same walls you built to protect yourself are the walls keeping everyone else out. So, what do we do about it? Section 5, how to truly reconnect using incredibly small steps. Please hear me on this. The solution is absolutely not to force yourself to become a massive extrovert overnight. You do not need to go to a networking event or make 50 new friends by Friday. The real magic? It happens in micro steps. Just tiny, manageable tweaks.
Instead of the robotic, hey, how are you? Try asking, what's been on your mind lately? Just be honest about a bad day with one single person you trust. Go for a walk. Share a stupid joke. Or, and this is a big one, just listen to someone without glancing at your phone. These are such low barrier actions, but they are so deeply powerful. They build that genuine emotional presence that 1,000 emojis just can't touch.
And if you take nothing else away from this explainer, please remember this. Loneliness is simply a signal. You're not broken. You are not fundamentally unlikable or destined to be alone. Think of it like a check engine light. Just like thirst is your body's way of saying, hey, I need water, loneliness is literally just your brain saying, hey, I need a little more honesty, a little more emotional presence, and a safe space to just take the mask off. That's all it is.
So, as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with one final question to chew on. What kind of connection are you actually missing? Really let that hang in the air. Take a look at your life right now. Do you genuinely need to surround yourself with a bigger crowd? Or do you maybe just need one real, completely honest conversation where you can finally put the mask down? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Take care of yourselves, and remember, you are never as alone as you might feel.